between belladonna and gluonine from comparative materia medica for students. Okay, let's discuss this drug. First of all, belladonna common name is deadly nightshade, Atropa belladonna, and gluonine common name is pink root nitroglycerin C3H5NO6O3. Okay, next, belladonna family name is Solanaceae and gluonine belongs to Luganaceae family. Solanaceae family and Luganaceae family. Next, prover is Dr. Hahnemann, and next Dr. Herring here. Okay, next, belladonna constitution, how it will look: intelligent plethoric persons who are lively and entertaining when well but violent and often delirious when sick. Women and children with light hair and blue eyes, fine complexion, delicate skin, sensitive, nervous, threatened with convulsions, tuberculosis patient. Next, how was the gluonine constitution? Constitution of gluonine: suited to nervous, plethoric, florid, sensitive persons who are very irritable and easily excited by slightest position. Diathesis of belladonna is tubercular, and there is no particular specification for gluonine. And temperament of belladonna is bilious, nervous, and lymphatic temperament. And temperament of gluonine is nervous temperament. And miasm of belladonna and gluonine is sora. And thermals of belladonna is chilly patient. And thermals of gluonine is hot. And elements from belladonna and gluonine both have sun and haircut elements. And first of all, we'll see elements from belladonna are haircut, head getting wet, sausages, sun, walking in wind or draught, cold air, cold wind, summer, suppression of catarrhal flow. Next, elements from gluonine are mental excitement, fright, fear, delayed and suppressed menses, mechanical injuries and their later consequences, haircut from working under gaslight when heat falls on head, heat of stove or walking in the sun, dentition. Next, location in belladonna and gluonine is both contains sudden and violent onset. Next, belladonna location is mainly on temples, supraciliary region, forehead and right sided mainly. And gluonine location is mainly beginning in the base of the brain, spreading over the head and locating in eye orbit at temple left side periodical. And next is sensation of belladonna and gluonine both contains throbbing and congestive type of headache and rush of blood to the head. Okay, next, sensation in belladonna. First point, throbbing, knife like periodic nervous, congestive, shooting and hammering. And in gluonine, throbbing, bursting, pounding, pulsating headache. Second point, in belladonna, violent pain, comes suddenly, lasts indefinitely, and goes suddenly. Next, sensation as if brain were pushed through the forehead. Next, sensation of stabbing as by a knife from one temple to the another. Next, feeling in the brain like swashing of water. It rises and falls in waves. Feeling in the brain like washing of water. It rises and falls in waves. Rush of blood to the head with pulsation of cerebral arteries. Okay. Next, cold sensation in head at the middle of the forehead. Causes turmoil in brain. Pain. How the pain will be in belladonna? Pain in head and eyeballs feels as if eyes would be pushed out from the sockets. Okay, and how it will be red throbbing of carotids with boring head in the pillow. This is the main symptom we have observed in belladonna. Next point, jerking as if weight were in the occiput. Next, tensive pressure on vertex and forehead. Next, redness of eyes with burning and great intolerance to light. This is the main symptom, redness, burning, like sensation is the most important symptoms. Okay, next point, double vision, dim vision, objects appear upside down. The vision is like double vision, dim vision, objects appear upside down. Okay. Next, sensation of a glow line. Second point, sensation in brain as the rising and falling of the waves of turbulent sea. Next point, sensation or as if blood were urging back and forth in the head from carotids to heart. Okay, next point, how the head will look. Head feels enormously large as if skull were too small for brain. Next point, shock in head synchronously with pulse. There is a continuous pulse in the head. Okay. Next point, rush of blood to head in pregnant women. In pregnant women, there is a continuous rush of blood to the head. Okay, in this glow line. Okay. Next point, cerebral congestion or alternate congestion of head and heart. Okay, in this point, heart and head both have congestion. Okay, like alternately there will be congestion. Next point, head heavy but cannot lie it on pillow. That means there is so much headache, so even they cannot be lie on pillow. Next point, cannot bear any heat about head. There is so heat of head, heat and heavy, so cannot lie on pillow. Okay. Next point, cracking, snapping, shocks, explosions or soreness deep in brain. Okay, these sensations are seen in brain. Cracking, snapping, shocks, explosions or soreness. Okay. Next, arteries seem to be on the break point. Next point, headache. Headache before, during, after or in place of menses. Instead of menses, there is a commencement of headache. Next, vomiting, palpitation of heart, pain in the stomach, difficulty in breathing and loss of consciousness with headache. Okay, there is a loss of consciousness and a headache. Okay, next, modalities. Aggravation in both in belladonna and clonine. There is aggravation of motion, jar, noise, light, lying down and looking at shining objects. Okay, next point. Next, aggravation in belladonna. Slight motion, jar, noise, light, lying down, laying the hand on head, bending backward, leaning forward, looking at bright shining objects, touch after 3 p.m. night, uncovering head, least exertion. Okay, this is the aggravation of belladonna, and aggravation in clonine we'll see now. Motion, light, noise, jarring, lying down, lying with head low, looking at shining objects or running water, heat of sun, if heated, drops on head, haircut, washing head after taking cold, checking sweat. This is the important point. Touch, company, pressure, hanging down affected part, afternoon, warm weather, weight of hat. This is the aggravation of clonine. Okay, amelioration of belladonna. Next, warm room, covering, bending head backward, tight bandaging during menses, semi-erect wrist, standing or sitting erect, leaning head against something, letting hair down. This head. Next, amelioration in clonine. Cold application, cold air, winter, uncovering head, bending backward, vomiting, sunshine, damp days for long sleep, shade. Okay. Next, accompanying symptoms. Accompanying symptoms in belladonna is patient is furious, rage and anger, bites and strikes those around him. He will bite, he will get that much anger. Okay. Next point, congestion, redness, burning and heat are the keynote. This is the most important thing. You should compulsory we have to write in exam. Okay. Next point, sensitiveness to touch of affected part. Next point. Okay, sweat only on covered parts. Next point, pussless especially in fever. In mostly in belladonna they will ask in exam fever and headache. Okay. Next, in clonine, accompanying symptoms in clonine, sensation of pulsation throughout the body, weakness and trembling of tongue, hands and legs. All of the body, this patient get so much weakness and the patient gets trembling and weakness of hands, tongue, legs. Okay. Next, last point, last clinically, it is not much important but they have mentioned, we'll see now. Belladonna in clinically apoplexy, meningitis, sunstroke, headache. In these conditions we will mostly observe in belladonna. Okay. Next, apoplexy, meningitis, menopausal syndrome, sunstroke, headache. Okay, in clonine. Same apoplexy in both conditions, both in clinical apoplexy, meningitis. Okay, sunstroke also is there, headache also is there, but only the menopausal syndrome is there in Glow9. Okay, please subscribe, share, subscribe for more updates. Thank you.